in a previous episode of Debbie and Carrie, the next generation.
That's the third woman we have found murdered in this park. It seems clear we have a serial killer in this city. And all the women killed here were lesbians. This is a very personal matter for me, since I am myself in a lesbian relationship. What if Debbie was to be targeted by this lunatic?
Carrie, would you consider working for my agency as a bodyguard for some of my models? Surely that would be less depressing for you to protect living people instead of investigating cases of those who are dead.
I appreciate the thought, but I feel I have a duty to track down killers like the one we are dealing with now.
And now.
So, what do you think of Debbie's proposal?
That you become a bodyguard to models of Aphrodite agency? I actually think that's a good idea. And I'd like to volunteer for that job too. Because it might give us an opportunity to catch the killer of those lesbians.
That would work, but only if we act exclusively as bodyguards to lesbian models.
It wouldn't hurt to ask Debbie about that. I'll call her now. Debbie, do you know how many of the models in your agency are lesbians?
There is only one lesbian working for me now. Her name is Karen Lanyard.
Carrie and I are still investigating those recent murders of lesbians here in Dallas. But in the meantime, I think it's practical to try to prevent this Karen Lanyard from becoming another victim of this serial killer. Would you hire us to be her bodyguards?
Sure. Come by my office and I will introduce you to her.
Are you sure about this? There are other cases we have been working on.
Those can wait. Issues of cheating or domestic violence pale in comparison to murder. Let's go see Debbie and that model.
So you and your partner in Queer Avengers want to act as my bodyguards to protect me from the serial killer?
That's right. None of his known victims have been models yet, but we know he is targeting lesbians for some reason, so you could be a future target.
If you are going to protect me, you should also protect my wife Jessica. She would also be a likely target of that killer. Indeed, she is actually a co-owner of the Hard and Heavy Club.
Yeah. My husband Michael and I have been there a few times. So if I was to protect you here, I could send Carrie to protect your wife at her club. What do you two think?
Sure, Mrs. Lanyard. If your wife will hire me to be a bouncer at the club, I'd be happy to help watch over her.
Welcome aboard, Carrie. And thank you for volunteering to be my bodyguard and a bouncer at my club. I certainly hope that killer gets caught soon. His remaining free to kill again is bad for business, obviously.
Indeed. So, what am I supposed to do here?
Just hang around here and watch for trouble and be quick to react if someone causes problems.
And that completes the autopsy. We have confirmed that this victim was killed the same way as the other two. She was strangled with a rope.
The same rope that was used to kill the other two lesbians, perhaps? I'd think shooting someone would be more efficient.
It's also much louder and therefore more likely to attract attention.
We need to figure out how this killer is luring lesbians into the park to murder them.
It's possible the killer is posing as a prostitute that has lesbian clients.
You think this killer could be a woman? Nearly all serial killers are men.
True. But why would a lesbian go to a park to have sex with a man? It's more likely she would go with a woman. Mother Debbie used to know a woman named Rose Dawson who was a prostitute for many years. She once told me that about a third of Miss Dawson's clients were women. It seems many women, even those who are not LGBT, use prostitutes to have sexual pleasure while avoiding pregnancy.
That sounds unlikely to me. But of course, I am not lesbian or even bisexual. So I may not know as much as your lesbian mother. Now let's sew up this body and fill out the report to give to the Dallas police.